Welcome to Season 4, Episode 1 of the Georgian Surrogacy Podcast. I'm Liz Tripodi. How are you all? Happy New Year and welcome to 2026. May this year be the year that many of you hopefully have a successful journey, that you get a positive on that pregnancy test, or you make the big decision to go through surrogacy. And that in itself takes a lot of guts and a lot of, stuff to even get down that road. So welcome to all of you. Welcome to all our old listeners and welcome to anyone new that is listening to the podcast for the very first time, or maybe it's been a while since you've heard an episode. So it's lovely to be with you. I don't know how many countries now this podcast is being heard of. I think the count is about over 80, which has completely blown my mind from where this started 4 years ago now, I think. And I'm flying solo today and thought I would do a quick episode to wish everyone a very happy New Year. My New Year, and obviously talk about some other stuff as well, but my New Year was spent with our dear friends who we were on the same surrogacy timeline, and we actually met in Georgia and ended up, by coincidence, meeting in the apartment block together. And our children were born only 3 weeks apart, a boy, beautiful boy. They live in Sydney, we're in Melbourne. And every year since then, around Christmas or New Year, we catch up and spend a few days together and have made it an annual tradition. So it's really beautiful to have this long-lasting friendship. We are like family and so grateful that we can spend time together and see our children flourish and grow and things like that. Speaking of children, my girls, hard to believe that they are starting school in 2 weeks. Mum is not doing too well. I tell you, I'm already starting to get pretty emotional about it. I can't believe it. They're just so little. And their school uniforms are just way too big for them, even the smallest size. They are the littlest in their class, not by age, because, a lot of children are 5, but certainly by their size, they are very small. And I think I'm going to be bawling on that first day. And look, I'm excited, of course, for their future, and I'm excited about them just growing, enjoying life and learning new skills. But by golly, this is a really hard thing for parents. And, even though I worked with kids for 30 years and students of all ages, it's when your little ones go off to school, it is a completely different kettle of fish. So, yeah. Other news from me, really excited that I've had another birth of my lovely couple in late November, have had a beautiful baby boy. They're already back home in their home country now, obviously. And currently in Tbilisi, I have another beautiful family who are waiting any day now to bring their new child into the world. On top of that, I've got lots of other beautiful people that I have been assisting who are expecting, quite a few. So really pleased for all them. One of the greatest gifts I think I'm able to give is being able to tell somebody that there's a positive, or there's a heartbeat, or there is a HCG has risen, or hey, you're having twins, or it's just such a blessing. I tell you, I'm so grateful every day to be able to help people and help them create a family like it was done for me. Currently in Tbilisi, it's actually snowing. And when I mean snow, it's a bit of a freak snow this season. Normally in Tbilisi in winter, there is snow, in the mountains, and you can see it from the city, and it sort of drizzles a little bit in parts, and there might be the odd snowball and stuff. But at the moment, the city is covered in snow. Kids can't even go to school in kinder because I can't even get there. Excuse me, it's quite funny to see the photos. It looks absolutely glorious. It is like a postcard. So if you're able to get online and type in snowing in Tbilisi, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So what's happening over the next few weeks and things like that? I've already got a couple, 3 or 4 people lined up to be special guests on future podcast episodes. Some new parents and people that have had some unusual journeys, which is great. Chachava Clinic is coming back to Australia for some free seminars and catch-up events. So if you are a Chachava patient, past or present, we're holding catch-up events in both Melbourne and Sydney. You'll find details about that online via different forms of social media, or please get in touch with me and I can give you the link to book, because we would love to see you. Of course, if you're looking at surrogacy and you are in Australia and you'd like to find out more, you are more than welcome to register to come to the free seminars. There is one in Melbourne on Feb 28 and one in Sydney on March the 1st. Private consultations will also be available. So again, please get in touch and I'll give you the link. You must register for all the events. It is free to do so. And like I said, the team and I would absolutely love to see you. A few things that people have been asking about in general lately. I'm just going to go over accommodation areas because a lot of people are a bit confused about areas to stay in. So I'm just going to do a bit of a quick run through and tell you a little bit about the areas that you can stay in Tbilisi. So you've got the Old Town, and the Old Town is pretty rocky, full of cobblestone streets, not ideal for prams, that sort of thing. Lots of history. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I've never stayed in the Old Town in all the times that I've been to Tbilisi. You've got Surrogacy, which is more of a boutique sort of area. I've stayed there once in that area. Then you've got Chachava, which is more like industrial, artsy, hipster, bit grimy. It's home of Fabrica, which is like a hostel / co-working space / food truck, all in this big old fabric warehouse. Then you've got Vake, which people know as the posh area. I stayed in Vake last time. It's very trendy, it's modern, it's got all the modern buildings, lots of shopping, lots of restaurants, cafes. Traffic can be horrendous. Great parks for kids, and probably the cleanest air in all of Tbilisi. So Vake is very popular, but the traffic does put a lot of people off because at certain times you can be stuck in traffic for a while. Then you've got Sabultalo. I've stayed in Sabultalo before as well. I wasn't personally a fan, but a lot of people like it. It is family friendly, again, shops, restaurants. A lot of local people live in that area. Then you've got Vera, which is very close to the city. It's actually the home of where Chachava is also. It's quite leafy. The main streets around Vera are fairly flat. It's just when you start turning up certain streets that you can run into, shorter walkways and things like that. Lots of shops around, being close to the centre, and dining options. It's quite more relaxed. You wouldn't realise how close you were to the city. Then you've got Madasminda, which is one of my favourite areas, very close to Rustaveli Avenue. And it can be quite hilly depending on what part of it you stay in. But I found where we stayed was pretty flat apart from one little hill. It can be very close to Liberty Square depending on which end you end up on. Close to Galleria shopping, couple of parks around. You got everything like chemists, all that sort of stuff is all super, super close. So, you do have a variety of choices. People also ask how you can book, where you can book. I mean, obviously Airbnb is always a good place to look, booking.com, Agoda, Expedia. There's also a Georgian site called myhome.ge, and I've used them before as well. You're going to find that most of the time you'll talk directly to the owners on that, so you might be able to get a better deal depending on how long that you stay. So there's just a few little tips, and hopefully that they are helpful. A few other things going on. People have been asking a lot about shipping embryos of recent times. So shipping embryos isn't difficult. People make it out to be like it's, really hard. Yeah, there's paperwork involved, but if you get everything aligned in a row, you will actually find that shipping paperwork is probably one of the more easier things to do in the scope of this whole journey. So I'm always happy to help people, no matter where you are deciding to do your journey. Of course, if you want to do your journey with Chachava, you're more than welcome to contact me so I can help you through everything. I've also got YouTube videos that are for people that are going through Chachava that talk you through the steps on how to fill out the paperwork when you are shipping. So things like the genetic affinity form before freezing if you need it, unsuccessful treatment letter if you need it, power of attorney. I've got instructional videos on how to fill all those out. One of the most important things when shipping embryos is ensuring that the paperwork is correct, and whoever you do decide to go through, Chachava is fantastic with the fact that our legal team will not allow you to get anything notarized and apostilled until your paperwork is 120% correct. So you need to be so careful with that. That is the number one factor. And making sure that you pick a fantastic and reliable shipping company as well. I liaise with 2 or 3 that I've had no issues with, very reputable, been running for years, very safe, hand transported carriers that go literally from door to door. So again, if you would like any recommendations for shipping embryos, please get in touch with me, and I'm always happy to help where I can. Another big thing happening at the moment, especially for Australians, and I know a lot of you don't live in Australia, but for those of you that do, there's a lot of talk about surrogacy reform at the moment. And the government are going to be looking at submissions later in the year on how to improve surrogacy practices here in Australia. And one of the questions being asked is, should surrogates be paid? And, how to improve it so that it is Australian law right across the country as opposed to different laws in different states. I mean, there currently isn't any surrogacy, real rules in any state in Australia. So my thoughts are, should surrogates be paid in Australia? Absolutely they should. You go to the mechanic to get your car fixed, they get paid. You go buy a cake, they get paid. Need to go to Coles, Woolies, they get paid. Go to the doctor, they get paid. Fertility specialists, they're making upwards of $1 million plus a year, they get paid. Sonographers, they get paid. Lawyers, paid. So why shouldn't a surrogate, if every other person along this process, the person that is carrying your child, I believe, should be paid. What amount? Well, that's not up for me to judge, but I certainly believe that there needs to be some sort of cap. It obviously needs to be regulated, it needs to be documented, it needs to be contracted, but I'm absolutely all for surrogates being paid. I just think it's fair, and what you're putting your body through and your mind and the after stuff, it's only fair. It really is only fair. So I was always going to keep this episode quite quick, but I do want to finish off by saying something to the surrogacy community in general. And this is not just the surrogacy community in Australia, but surrogacy communities worldwide. Please be kind to each other. Please support each other. Just because you might not like surrogacy overseas does not mean that it is bad. You might have your opinions, and that's okay. But until you have been through the process yourself, whether you have been given no other option but to go overseas to create your family, you can't comment because you haven't been through it. And your thoughts are just what are your thoughts. And I find there are too many people in the community trying to put others down by what their choices have been and what their choices have to be. I am proof that dreams can come true, and they can come true in a safe and regulated way. But it's not just me. There are hundreds of people now, or probably actually not hundreds, there's thousands of people around the world now that have had happy, successful journeys in Georgia, still keep in touch with their surrogates, will never forget what their surrogates have done for them to help them create their family. And I've seen Australian journeys go absolutely pear-shaped, horrible things said online about parents and IPs where people don't even speak to each other anymore, and it's broadcast right across social media. So let's not call the kettle black here, okay? We should all be supporting each other. These silly online groups of people that are nasty to each other, and people have done it to me, and they've done it to me in recent times, saying horrible things about me. Number one, defamation laws are very rife, and I would certainly be very careful with what you say about someone, especially if they're in a professional position. But why are people not supporting each other? You don't have to agree, but there's nothing wrong with being kind. I pride myself on being kind. I pride myself on supporting people, and I always have, even before I started working alongside Chachava. You go back years of posts online, or even this podcast itself, this was all prior to me being part of Team Chachava. And I've always helped people with other agencies, other clinics. Some people that I absolutely love have gone with other clinics and things. It's got to be what's right for you. But all I'm asking from the surrogacy community this year is to please be nice to each other. This is hard enough as it is. It doesn't need to be any harder. There shouldn't be such segregation between states and countries and, different groups. It makes me sad because social media is such a wonderful thing, but in a lot of ways too, it can be quite toxic and it can really hurt people's feelings. So please be mindful, because you never know what people are going through behind the scenes. Sometimes it can affect me, and I'm one of the strongest people that I know, and it has affected me in the past. But let's not take away from the goal here, and that goal is to create a family, hopefully make some friends along the way, have some great support. And if you are alone and you need to talk to someone, my ear or my video, FaceTime, whatever is always open to whoever you are. I wish you only the best. Baby dust, lots of good vibes in the universe, lots of good thoughts, wherever you are in the world. But this year is your year. Signing off, and I'll see you next episode.